Hey guys, welcome to a very special self-inflicted episode of Back Issues. One of those back issues that I have done to myself. You can see the state of mind that I'm in. It's not good. Um, this will give you a little glimpse into my own personal madness that I have to deal with every day of my life. So feel sorry for me. I have a spider problem. I have a big spider problem of the man variety. Spider-Man. I have a Spider-Man problem. I have a number of Spider-Man problems. In particular, I'm going to talk about my major Spider-Man problem. And that there's too much Spider-Man. There's too much Spider-Man. So let's go back a couple years ago, where I got myself into this predicament, and it's all self-inflicted. Everything I do, all this stuff that I complain about wow, my life in the comics, and I understand. I do it to myself. I'm a horrible person to myself. I get it. I'm collecting all of Amazing Spider-Man. A lofty endeavor, to be sure. But how did that happen? How does someone get that mad idea of, I am going to collect all of one of the longest ongoing comic series of all time? At least, Silver Age, right? Obviously, I'm not talking about like Superman or Detective, right? That one, I don't care enough about those characters to do that. Not that I don't like those characters, but that's getting into Golden Age stuff. It's just not for me. I'm not a big Golden Age fan. So shy of Fantastic Four, which, to be fair, took a good break. So Amazing Spider-Man might be the longest continually ongoing Silver Age comic series, at least Marvel. Anyway, how did we get to this point of madness? So, I had the first issue, Amazing Spider-Man 1. I've had that for a long time. I think I've talked about how that was in one of the very first really big comic collection buys that I had, was that book. So I've had that for a while. And then a couple of years ago, I ended up being able to get an Amazing Fantasy 15, which you've probably seen from time to time on my videos. It pops up now and then. It's not the best condition, obviously, but what it had going for it is that it was raw. It was not graded, and how many ungraded Amazing Fantasy 15s are there? It doesn't matter if it's a 0.5. If you grade that, the value skyrockets. So anyone who has any condition of Amazing Fantasy 15 is going to grade it. But it was an ungraded one that I was able to then grade, and obviously it was a big boost in the value. So at that point, and I got this from one of my local comic shops that one of my good friends is part owner in. So we're sitting talking, like, I have the Amazing Fantasy 15. I have the Amazing Spider-Man 1, and obviously I have a bunch of at that time I had a bunch of key issues. A lot of the real valuable stuff. I had early issues. I had the 6. I had some in the 10s and teens, and through. But a lot of the major key issues I already had. So the seed got in my mind of, like, I have the two hardest to get, not necessarily hardest to find, but sort of hardest to get when you consider costs of the books. I have the two hardest ones to get, and I have hundreds of key issues, and I've been reading it since, I don't know, again, the 2000s, sometime in the 2000s. Maybe I just do it. You know, if I have the most difficult ones to get, what's stopping me from just getting all of it? What if I was just like, what if I had all the Spider-Man? What if I had all the Amazing Spider-Man? That would be so cool. It's tough for when my main focus is key issues. I do like to get a lot of runs because I like to read stuff. I like to read old stuff and old characters. But for a key issue collector, collecting large runs, it's a big trade off, right? You know, I'm gonna be buying or paying for a lot of books that aren't gonna go up in value or very much. They're filler issues for the most part, so their value is their value. They're probably not going to go up. And some of the early ones, you know, you get an Amazing Spider-Man in the 20s. That's not a key issue. It's still a 60-year-old book. They're still expensive, and that's all money that could be going to like actual key issues for the key issue collection, stuff that is going to appreciate. So it's tough. It's tough to be interested in all of it. So where was I going? So that is why that is how I came to the crazy idea of getting all of Amazing Spider-Man. But Amazing Spider-Man, the same logic applies. If that logic is sound, the same logic applies to other series of Spider-Man. Not that I have the issue number 1 and that, which some of them I did, but the issue number 1 and key issues, and I certainly did. But Amazing Spider-Man is going to be the most difficult one to collect all of, and I will have it eventually. So the same logic applies. If I already have, if I've gone through the work, if I already have the most difficult series of Spider-Man to get, I should probably, why not just get them all? Why not just get them all? Why not just get all Spectacular and Web and Spider-Man and Sensational and Peter Parker Spider-Man, Unlimited? They're easier, right? If I can get through all of Amazing Spider-Man, if I can do that, if I get there, surely these other ones are way easier. I have no excuse not to do it. So that's I'm insane. I'm insane when it comes to this stuff, and I talk myself into dumb, stupid stuff, and it happens. So now I have this huge Spider-Man problem. So what got me going crazy on this, crazier, is as I'm reading through Amazing Spider-Man, and I'm just doing it in Epic Collections for the early ones, because I don't want to. First of all, a lot of my earlier stuff is slabbed, but even the stuff that's not slabbed, I don't want to be holding a book that's worth thousands of dollars and reading it, right? So the Epic Collection. And I'm thinking like, well, how am I going to read this? My initial plan, like I usually read runs that I've collected in sets, right? Right now I'm reading through Spider-Girl. When I get done with Spider-Girl, I'll move on to my run of Howard the Duck, and then I'll go through these full runs that I've collected that I have to read. I'll just do them like that. So I was thinking like I'll just do Spider-Man parallel to that. So I have my other run that I'm going through, but I'll also always be reading a series of Spider-Man. So start with Amazing Spider-Man. I'll go through all of Amazing Spider-Man, and then I'll go to Spectacular Spider-Man, because that was the second oldest series. And then I'm thinking like, wait, no, because of crossovers and things that happen in other books that affect each other. A lot of these books came out concurrently in the actual timeline of things. So while Amazing Spider-Man's been going on for as long as there's been Spider-Man, but then Spectacular was going on and Web was going on during the same time. There were 3 books going on at the same time. And things that happened and others affected it. And especially when I was thinking like, oh man, I've never read Kraven's Last Hunt. I'm so excited to read Kraven's Last Hunt. And then I thought like, wait, but it's spread against multiple books. So when I get to Kraven's Last Hunt and Amazing Spider-Man, if I'm just reading through Amazing Spider-Man, do I just stop there and like, okay, well, I'm going to jump into issue whatever of Spectacular and issue 30 whatever of Web, and then when and then I'll do the same thing for Maximum Carnage, Spider-Man, and then I'll go do Spectacular, but I'll read from the beginning, except I'll skip the issues that I already read because of the madness. So like, no, I have to read them all in chronological order. So this sped up the timeline of I can't wait to finish off my run of Spectacular Spider-Man until I'm done with Amazing and finish reading Amazing, because this is going to come up during Amazing. So speeds up the timeline of everything of when I have to have all this stuff collected if I'm going to continue to read through it at a consistent manner. So that also you have the problem of I need to find a read order. What is the read order of all this stuff? What is the order in which not only for the most part it came out chronologically, but are there some things that like a one shot that came out later that actually kind of fits into early Spider-Man years? Like Untold Tales of Spider-Man, right? Untold Tales of Spider-Man was a 20-something issue run that is Untold Tales that happened during Spider-Man's early years. So those actually happen within the first 20-some issues of Amazing Spider-Man. So where does this all fit? So I need to find this what is the read order of all of the Spider-Man ever? And it's a dumb problem. It's a dumb problem. Normal people don't have these problems. Like normal sane people don't do these things to themselves. Such an idiot. Anyway, Spider-Man problems. I did find a good source of reading order online. It's not in a very good format. Like it's on a website, but I want to be able to manipulate it a little. It'd be nice if I could have it in a spreadsheet, so I can jump around easier and hide rows and get rid of columns that are in their data that I don't really care about. Like they do some weird numbering stuff in one of the columns and stuff I don't care about. But it's all just like a basically plain text. So I think I'm gonna just get that plain text and write a quick program to parse through it and put it into a spreadsheet, into something that's a little more reasonable. If anyone's interested in that, if anyone else needs the Spider-Man read order in a usable format that's not just a text dump, let me know, because I'll have it, because I'll have parsed it. It shouldn't be too bad to create a quick little script or program to parse that out and just store it into a spreadsheet. Anyway, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to flip the camera around, and we are going to see firsthand my Spider-Man problem of how much Spider-Man is actually too much Spider-Man. And it's a lot. So let's see what is in store for me for probably the rest of my life.
So let's get an idea of exactly how much Spider-Man there is to read. I don't have full sets yet, obviously, but we are well on our way. So let me see if I can remember. So this is the beginning of my Amazing Spider-Man bulk, starting with issue -1. And let's see, the earliest one I have here is 51. Anything that's less than 51 is mixed in with my key comic collection, just because it's there. I mean, even the issues that aren't really keys, since they're so old, they're still fairly valuable. So I keep them with those. And then obviously all of my actual keys throughout all of these series are in there. So this isn't really the entirety of it. And as you probably know, there are a number of Amazing Spider-Man key issues. So there's quite a bit more than what we see here. So Amazing Spider-Man 51 up through, this is all a long box of Spider-Man up to, so 372. Continuing here, 373. Let's see. Here we're starting to get to Andrew's Annual 2. So we're getting to annuals. The last main issue I have here is 518. So that means I must have started reading it at 519. So 519 on up till current has already been read. I just was reading it off the shelf, and is in my main stock. So I have probably 2 long boxes, considering the amount of stuff that is not present that I still need to get and or is in with my key stock. Probably have 2 long boxes of just Amazing Spider-Man. Let's see. After Amazing would be Spectacular. So here's the start of Spectacular. So Spectacular -1. And then this is, I have quite a bit of work to do on Spectacular, as I mentioned. So this is all Spectacular. So here we're getting to Spectacular annuals. So that much of a long box, and I probably still have about 40 or more issues to go, 40, 50 more issues to go of Spectacular. So that's all Spectacular. We can kind of take a time jump here just because we're in this box. Untold Tales of Spider-Man. Wasn't a very long series. I think I only need a couple more issues of that. But this is basically stories that take place during the first year or so of Spider-Man, which is really cool. The read list that I found, again, it has the Untold Tales mixed in with the first 20-some issues of of Amazing Spider-Man. So these are just little stories that fill in the gaps of the first couple years of Spider-Man. Then we have Spider-Man Unlimited. Spider-Man Unlimited all the way up to number 22. What else is here? Let's look after, I think, more Spider-Man Annual. More Spider-Man Annual. Oh, we get into Web. There's Web number 2. I have Web number 1. It's in my key issue collection. So again, anything that's a key issue is not going to be in these boxes. But so we have Web of Spider-Man goes through. Actually, pull that back out. Where'd you go, Web of Spider-Man 2? Jeez Louise. All right. So Web of Spider-Man 2 then goes. This is more Web. Web's really close to being done. Really, really close to being done. Here we go. There's Web annuals there. Then we get to Spider-Man, the 1990 Spider-Man. So there's Spider-Man -1, Peter Parker Spider-Man. Again, Spider-Man was a rough series where it was just Wizard number 1/2. So it's that series of Spider-Man. It started off as Spider-Man, and then at some point it started calling itself Peter Parker Spider-Man, which is why the -1 is Peter Parker Spider-Man. But there was also another series called Peter Parker Spider-Man that continued after Web. So it's yeah. As far as collecting goes, it makes it a pain in the butt because there's, for like Peter Parker Spider-Man number whatever, there's actually kind of like there's 2 issues of it, or annual 98 or whether it's 2, like, or I don't know. It makes it tough. But this is all, and it's just more that Marvel does to make our lives a pain. So Spider-Man. So here we go. This is Peter Parker Spider-Man. It's the same Spider-Man series, but it's called Peter Parker Spider-Man. And the actual, we'll jump ahead real quick. The series that started off as Peter Parker Spider-Man is that it has this, like, the exact same logo, but it's actually, they're named the same, exact same logo, but they're from 2 different series. Thanks, Marvel. All right, so more of that. Then we're getting into Spider-Man annuals. What comes? Sensational Spider-Man. So web from there to around here. That's about the end of Web of Spider-Man. So that's a good chunk. It wasn't the longest series, 120 some issues. And then Spider-Man, from there to there. Then we have Sensational Spider-Man. That I think I have complete. But this is all Sensational Spider-Man. Sensational. Looks like we're getting close to close. All right. So there's Sensational from... Oh, God. See, you see what I mean? It's too much. Sensational wasn't very long either. It was only... So Sensational... Yeah. So that's just a little chunk right there. Not too bad. And then Peter Parker Spider-Man proper starts there, goes through here to the end of the long box, and then continues into this short box. And there's annuals, Tangled Web, Spider-Man's Tangled Web starts there. That was another short series, only like 22 issues, which that is almost finished. I jumped from 20 to 22. 21 is the only one that I need. So that's almost done. Some little things. So Web of Scarlet Spider was just, I think, a 4-issue mini. Spider-Man Chapter 1 is a retelling of Spider-Man's origin. Here I start at number 2. Number 1 is the only one that I need. And it's only 12 issues long. I just thought it'd be fun to read a modern, well, not modern anymore, a 90s modern telling of Spider-Man's first couple adventures. Giant Size Spider-Man, I picked up random Spider-Man stuff from a store, and this ended up just being actually all reprints, so, and just more random stuff, just like just one-shots. This Peter Parker mini-series was only 5 issues long. I still did number 5. This, in a one-shot, I think half of it's a reprint. Spider-Man versus the Punisher, I mean, why not? It'd be fun. So that's my current spider problem. Not the type of spider problem most people have. But so we have 4 issues of long boxes that are not complete yet. We'll say about four long boxes and half a short box of series that aren't complete yet, and a good number of these issues are of this series is in the safe. So there's a lot of Spider-Man that I have to eventually get through. I think I'm on issue 30-something of Amazing Spider-Man. So I have quite a ways to go. It's tough to read all this because I have to keep up with current books. I'm reading other series as I go, and those Silver Age issues, they take a long time to read. But once I get through Silver Age, and it'll start going quite a bit faster. I think when I start getting especially into Bronze Age stuff, things go a little bit faster, and definitely when I get into modern. But that is my spider predicament. It's a lot of Spider-Man. So I do it to myself. I mean, it's no one's fault but my own, but man, I'm an idiot. Anyway, thanks. Like, comment, subscribe, all those things, and we'll see you next time.
This video was brought to you by Titan Comic Pressing. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Titan Comic Pressing LLC.